Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Williams Return to Glory. In this episode, we are going to Azerbaijan and Canada. As always, we're just going to go rotate through our pit crew really quick. Alright, so we've gone through and we've rotated our pit crew around. Alright, so looking at the mail, we got stuff about the last race. We got an interview with Lee Diffie. Let's see what that's all about. Lance Stroll's agent has been telling reporters all over town that you're interested in signing his client up next season. No, I'm not gonna hire somebody whose dad owns another F1 team. So we're gonna go with B. So from the mail, we have a dilemma. Alex Albon wants us to build a road car factory. Only problem is if we go to the HQ screen and we look at the road car factory, it is a whopping $65 million, and considering we only have 76 million, I'm not going to do that. So we're going to say I'm the one running the team. So from the part improvement screen, we just got our new engine in. It is a little bit less, it's not as good as even our last engine that we made, but it does have a higher ceiling than the current one that we have on the car. I'm going to just have it on reliability here just so it's done for the next race, but we're going to go ahead and look to see if we can make another engine. If not, we'll be in the part or design new parts screen, designing another part. Alright, so I've gone through and I decided to make another engine. We're going to use this -1 risk level and go for this epic trait. And this is going to cost 2.25 million, and it's going to take almost a month to make. So we are going to build this, and then we're going to be able to just put it in the car immediately, which will be good. But this will give us more time to kind of focus on our current part development. For those interested, here's the Formula 2 results. We've got Dan Ticktum winning, getting the fastest lap. We have Victor Martin's second step of the podium, and we have Marcus Armstrong third step of the podium. I'm just going to scroll through the results slowly. Alright, looking at the Drivers' Championship, 5 races. I mean, we barely have anybody, maximizing. We could have drivers with over 100 and over 130 points. That's maximum if you win and get fastest lap every race. And yeah, we've not seen that. So yeah, just a very tight battle here throughout the entire field. This is very crazy. But then you got this the bottom 4 drivers here that have not scored a point yet. Looking at the team standing, just another kind of tight battle, first to fourth. And then we've got a tight battle, probably fifth. Let's say that battle goes from fifth all the way to the back of the field here. Just not a lot of room in between these teams, even though Prema is pretty far ahead of Campos. It's just very, very tight. Alright, so getting ready for the race, we have Ponos that we're going to put on the car. We're going with our usual 15-10-10 for the Raceland allocation. And then part fitting, I gave Albon the newest engine that we got. That was lower than the current one, and for some reason that made Vettel happy, which was very weird. But anyways, on to Azerbaijan. Alright, so getting ready for practice. We got a little bit of rain in the beginning, and it looks like we might get some rain at the very end, potentially. Because it does say it's going to be rainy, but actually, no, maybe not. But anyways, we're going to focus on the soft tire, and we're going to skip through practice. So following practice, Albon was 15th, Vettel was 8th, and top of the board was Charles Leclerc. Alright, so getting ready for qualifying, we have these qualifying trim and super soft tires, both level 3. Looking at the weather, we have this let's say about 2-minute patch of dry weather. I think I'm going to send out both cars at about 5 minutes 30, 5 minutes 40, just because it does look a little bit damp right after 6 minutes, but then we get this whole period of just complete dry racetrack that we can take advantage of. So I think we're going to do that. And setup wise, we are 97% with Albon, so we're gonna just send him out real quick on some intermediate tires with a quick little change on the car. But anyways, on to qualifying. Alright, with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, we're gonna send out... Actually, we're gonna send out Albon first. Alright, and then we're gonna send out Vettel. Alright, ending qualifying, we are going to be 3rd and 10th on the grid. Alright, so on the grid for Baku, I decided to put them on a split strategy. You look there at the end of the race, there's going to be about an 11 lap window. It does start to rain a little bit at lap 43. There's going to be a window there to kind of put on the soft tires and make them last to the end of the race. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to get Albon to stretch the soft tires or the super soft tires to fit into that window, just because we're just going to go for 2 different strategies. It's very unlikely that we're going to put both cars on the same strategy and they're both going to win the race, or not win the race, but finish, high up on the grid. But if you look at the car setup, 98, perfect, 98. And then this is going to be our driver's strategy going the race. But we're going to move on to the starting grid. So your starting grid for Azerbaijan is Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, Dennis Hauger, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen, George Russell, Lando Norris, Alex Albon, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Guan Yu Zhou, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and Esteban Ocon. Alright, so the 5 red lights, looks like Vettel is the only person on the soft tire. So we're going to maintain their engine modes. It's like Vettel is a little far back from Hamilton, but he should be able to go for a little bit. Alright, we need to have him conserve immediately just because his tires have heated up tremendously in that quick little stint. Alright, we're going to put Vettel onto neutral. With the amount of engine mode we have to use, I'm going to save the engine, or not save the engine, but I'm going to save the usage for to about like 0.7, just so we can make that last and maybe have some later when it gets dry. Vettel all the way down into 7th. Tires are already starting to heat up a little bit. We're going to have him just back up. We're going to micromanage this. Alright. We're going to have him go neutral. And we're going to put Albon on a conserve, just so we can make sure his tires make it. Alright, we got about a 8-second, almost 10-second gap between our 2 drivers. And we look like we're coming up on pit stops sometime soon. Alright, Vettel has about a bit of a gap there. We're just going to back up, and then we're going to go on to push. Alright, we're going to have Albon push as well, because it looks like we're going to have to pit pretty soon. We're going to focus on Vettel. We're going to look at the weather. We're going to have Vettel stay out 1 lap. We're going to look at Albon here. Got a bunch of cars pitting. I don't think that's the right call. So we're going to have both of them stay out for a lap. Yeah, so we're going to pit Vettel in this lap, intermediates. And then we're going to pit in Albon for intermediates. We just need to make sure we catch them before they get in. Make sure they go neutral. Sorry, focus on the wrong driver. Alright, here's Albon. Alright, Vettel is in 11th place. Looks like we're going to at least jump some people here. We're up to 8th. At 9th place behind us at Bottas. It's like the tires are holding fairly even. What's everyone else doing? We got a lot of people attacking and conserving and jumping around. I think we're just going to hold station on neutral just because it's going to hold the tire wear and the warmth of it just kind of stable. Our Albon's already gotten lapped. That's a shame. I think Vettel's going to get lapped sometime soon as well. And just a short track, a lot of straightaways, not a lot of corners. Alright, and at about lap 32, we're going to look at putting Albon out onto the soft tires. Same for Vettel. Alright, tires are heating up, so we're going to have them conserve. And with Vettel's gap, we're going to have him back up. We're going to look at the gap that Albon has. Albon does not have the luxury. Alright, we have Vettel back onto that. Alright, we have Lapper, or leader, kind of coming up on us here, so we're going to wait until he gets the blue flag and then we'll go neutral. Alright, we're coming up at the point where we're going to start looking to pit. Alright, it's damp. Alright, Vettel just got lapped. Alright, we're going to wait so we can put the dry tire on for Vettel. We have people pitting. We're pitting onto the softs. I think we're going to put Albon onto the pits right now and put him onto the super soft. And then we're going to pit Vettel this time onto the super soft as well. And then once Vettel comes out, we're going to put him on overtake if we don't get blue flagged. Alright, we're going to let him conserve because he's got a pretty decent gap to Bottas. Just going to let him conserve but use a lot of the fuel up so we can have him push later on. Alright, and we're going to need Albon to back up a little bit. Got 3 seconds back, so we're just going to try to keep an eye on him while we're managing Vettel. Alright, we're going to have Vettel push. Alright, we're going to look at Albon. Albon's got a blue flag. Vettel's about to take over on the fuel. Albon has engine mode he can use. Alright, where are we compared to Gasly? Right, I think we're just going to go neutral with... Are we getting more blue flags for... Damn, it's just constant. Alright, we just get overtaken by... Looks like Ocon. Alright, Vettel to hold station. It's raining again. Knew that was going to happen. We're going to go high. We're going to go conserve. Just for a little bit. Alright, we got to go neutral. Alright, Vettel, we're going to go on to medium. Keep an eye on Ocon. Ocon needs to back up until we can safely, and medium. Alright, Vettel still in 9th. We get the race ending. Alright, it looks like Vettel is going to secure 9th place, and Albon secures 16th. Alright, so following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, another good result for us. We had Albon finishing 16th, but we had Vettel in the points. Your points for the race are Alonso, Vettel, Gasly, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Russell. Your podium, Verstappen, Leclerc, and your winner, Lewis Hamilton. So looking at your Drivers' Championship, we have the same kind of bottom group that have not scored points yet. We've got Vettel in 12th. Looking at the driver standings, George Russell moves ahead of Lando Norris, and Lewis Hamilton has been closing in. He is now within a race of Charles Leclerc. Looking at the team's championship, we are now at a total of 6 points. We are 6 points behind AlphaTauri, and we are 5 points ahead of Alfa Romeo. I think with our current kind of consistency of having these mixed weather races, and us being able to kind of finish right behind McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, and occasionally being ahead of Alpine, I think we could mount a charge on AlphaTauri. So following Baku, we gained $26,000. So from the pit crew screen, we are just going to go through and do some rotation. Alright, so we've gone through and kind of removed the fatigued crew members and lowered the mistake chance. So from the mail, we have stuff about Baku, Ferrari, Hamilton, car condition update, and this is our interview. Which one of your drivers is better? We're going to say Vettel. Alright, so from the sponsor screen, we had 3 offers for sponsors. Lavazza does not pay enough to kind of warrant this. I know we can kind of get that 9th and above, but just having guaranteed money is the thing I'm looking for, because I don't think we're going to be able to hit that enough to kind of just have that. And then we already have a sponsor for 8th or above that pays similar. BWT gives 6.5, but they're on the car for 46 races. Wins actually has the most guaranteed money. If you divide that upfront payment across the 12 races, it ends up being at about $13,000 more than BWT without any of these bonus payments. I'm not going to rely on the bonus payments, so I'm going to go with wins, just so we can kind of get a re-roll and hopefully get some better sponsorship opportunities. And with the signing of wins, it goes right there on our car. It's a little bit glitchy with the certain model, but looks interesting. Alright, so getting ready for Montreal. Going with Ponos. It's 8th or above, $350,000. That's why I decided not to go with Lavazza. Our tire selections 15, 10, 10. Like usual for the season. Part fitting. Vettel is happy. And we're going to go on to Canada. So for practice, in Montreal, I'm going to put Theo Pourchaire in the car again. I'm going to give him some more FP1 outages throughout the year. Over Albon, because his feedback's pretty high. I want to put Vettel in the car because it helps us with our knowledge. We're going to focus on the soft tire, and if we're able to, we're also going to focus on the super soft tire. But we're going to skip through practice. Alright, so following practice, Theo Pourchaire was 16th, Sebastian Vettel was 6th, and top of the board was Charles Leclerc. Alright, so getting ready for qualifying, we're going to send out Albon and Vettel just on a quick reconnaissance lap just to see where their setups are. We've got level 2 on the super soft and the qualifying trim, and car setup wise, we were about 95 or 96 on both of them. Alright, Albon starts his lap. We waited to send them out because we had that damp patch of weather in the beginning. Hopefully they can get back around and we can immediately send them back out again. Alright, so here comes Albon. He is behind a car, but they box, and he's going to get to the line just fine, and it looks like Vettel's going to get to the line fine as well. So it looks like everyone else is starting laps here. We have increasing track grip, and we're improving, and we go 10th and 17th. Alright, so on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix, looking at the weather, it's not going to get dry enough at any point to put on dry tires. It does get pretty light in the rain at a couple points, but not enough to put on dries, like I said before. Unfortunately, we were unable to practice and put anything on the car that might help us, but we do have a light-footed perk for Vettel, which I think is very, very good and might help us a lot throughout this race. Albon, we just put the car condition preservation just because that's the only thing that we can put on the, just on his knowledge, just that would even help him remotely. Car setup wise, we were able to get both of these to like 98 and 99, and this is going to be our driver strategy heading into the race, but we're going to head on to the starting grid. So your starting grid for the Canadian Grand Prix is Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, Dennis Hauger, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen, Guan Yu Zhou, and Lance Stroll. Alright, getting ready with 5 red lights here. I wonder if when it hits that kind of wet point, if we're going to see people jumping onto the wet tires. That would be very stupid, but I could see it happening. Alright, we're just going to keep an eye and see what the tire wears are doing. Okay, it looks like we're going to get about halfway, and we're going to put these, both of them, onto neutral. I like using up our fuel while it's at the driest point in the race, so we're going to push this to about 1 on the fuel delta. Yeah, you can visually see Vettel's already saved about 5% compared to Albon, but compared to the field, he's not really doing too great. Alright, looks like we're going to have to conserve for most of this race because these tires are going to be heating up a lot. So we'll just have them both on conserve while we run the high engine mode. Yeah, Vettel is holding onto the tires a lot better than everyone ahead of him. Gasly behind is doing a good job as well, but I have a feeling that Gasly is conserving more than we are. Does not look so. Alright, we're going to hold this conserve pattern until they hit 1 on the fuel delta, because I'm expecting us to get lapped during this race. But Vettel, once again, holding in the points. Only person ahead of us that's kind of in an equal car is Alonso, so I'd expect us to fall back into 10th once Gasly finds a way around us, but yeah, we're doing a good job here. And then we also need to be vigilant if we get safety cars or VSCs. Alright, so we're gonna, actually we'll just wait until we get that message. There we go. And there we go, low fuel delta. And we'll put them both onto neutral, and we'll let them kind of do their own thing for a little bit. So Vettel looks like he's going to be able to go longer than everyone else, which is good. I don't know if that's going to get us to the point where we can kind of one-stop this, but if we could, that would be amazing. Alright, we're going to see people in the front starting to pit about next time by. I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to pit Albon as well. Alright, we're pitting Albon. Going to leave Vettel out for... we had a mistake with the right rear. It's unfortunate, and the rear jack. It's a 5.98 stop. That was not good. Alright, we're at 35%. Got 33%. We're going to go 1 more lap. Yeah, let's go 2 more laps. And no, we're going to just bite the bullet and pit Vettel here. Just needed to go about an extra 5 laps. Alright, we're going to make Albon back up, and we're going to let Vettel kind of conserve out of the pits. We're just going to keep an eye on Vettel. Vettel's holding 10th very well. Alonso is doing extremely well in the wet conditions. Alright, Albon is good to go on to neutral. Alright, Vettel is good to go on neutral. I like where we're sitting with our tire wear, especially to the people behind us, which are more important. Alright, we're 17th place with Albon at the moment, but Albon has better tire wear than everyone behind him. So we need to keep our eyes looking forward, where we're about 3 or so seconds behind Tsunoda. Vettel in 10th with a 4-second gap over Hauger, who's about halfway done with his tires. Looks like having these kind of wetter conditions is helping. Tire wear. Hopefully we see somebody pit for wets. That'd be pretty stupid. Leave that to Ferrari. Alright, it's getting wetter. Wouldn't be surprised to see somebody kind of wreck out at this point. We're kind of able to hold neutral. It's going to get really wet there. Anybody going to pit for wets? That would be a death sentence. Alright, it's starting to get super, super wet. And now it's starting to dry out. Alright, so we're holding steady on the tires. I'm expecting them to heat up, but it does not look like they are, so we're just going to push for a little bit. You see where Albon is. Albon is starting his lap currently. So we're going to put Albon onto attack, but we're going to have him pit onto intermediates. He needs to make these last about 16 laps, which he looks like he will be able to. And we'll let Vettel push for a while here. We'll make him conserve out. So oh, Fernando Alonso's crashed out. That's good for us. Alright, so we're going to push on the tires here just because we can. Got 8th place Russell behind us. So we're just going to push Vettel just so he can use these tires up a little bit. Alright, we're going to have Albon push and go on to high. Not been paying attention to him. We're going to have Vettel attack, and we're going to have him pit onto intermediates. It's nice not having to stretch these tires a lot. We're going to make sure we catch him before he goes into the box. We're going to have him go conserve out of the box. Alright, he is in 9th place. He's behind Gasly, who we might be able to catch. Albon gets the blue flag. And then we're going to put Vettel onto neutral. Alright, we just need to kind of take in what's going on at the moment. Looks like Vettel needs to save just a tiny bit of gas, and we'll just do that real quick. We'll get him to about 0.15. Gasly has crashed out, which is ahead of us, which is another good spot for Vettel. I clicked on him. I did not mean to. We're about 0.15, so we can start to do that. Alright, we have Albon. We're going to have him go neutral. We're going to leave him on the high engine mode. We're actually going to let him go on an overtake. And we'll let him stay on neutral. Alright, Vettel has Hauger right behind him. We'll let him push just because it looks like we do not have to worry about too much going on here. Looks like the tires went from overheating a lot to not overheating at barely any, so. Alright, we're going to put Vettel onto neutral now. Alright, we're going to put Albon onto push and conserve on the engine mode just so we can kind of get the fuel under 0.10. Do that. And let him stay there. We're going to kind of see what Vettel is doing. Vettel's holding good to those behind him. We're going to let him conserve completely, and then we're going to let him push to the end of the race. Alright, looks like we're going to have to go and conserve for second with Albon. Going to let him push. Alright, we're going to let him go neutral. Very unlikely that we're going to be able to catch Russell, but we aren't going to be able to catch him if we don't do anything. So we're going to push that gap on Hauger. Hauger has pitted. So we can kind of go a little bit aggressive here with Vettel to catch a car that's a lot faster than we are, and he's pitting for tires. So Vettel is not going to catch Russell because Russell just boxed. Alright, we're going to have Albon conserve because he's pretty low on his tires. Oop, on the final lap, and Vettel is pushing too much. Alright, so we have Magnussen behind us, who we were trying to catch previously. Alright, where's Vettel? Is Vettel going to cross the line here? No, he is not. Alright. Looks like Hamilton just pipped Leclerc there. Alright, we gotta make sure that he doesn't run out of fuel here, as Vettel is good. Alright, we're just micromanaging this finish here. Is this the finish for Albon? It is. And let's just go full out attack for Vettel to the end. 8th place for Vettel. Alright, so following the Canadian Grand Prix, we had Albon finishing 14th. He was actually able to get ahead of Magnussen, who had to pit another time. Your points are Mick Schumacher, Dennis Hauger. You have Vettel finishing 8th and getting 4 points. You have Russell, Perez. Hamilton actually won the race on track, but was hit with a 4-point demotion, or 4-place demotion. I believe that means he must have brought 2 parts, unless they get caught for a second time, and it doubles the penalty, or adds another 2 places to the penalty. So Lewis just pipped Leclerc there at the end, so that moved him up from finishing 6th into finishing 5th. But Norris is in 4th. You have your podium signs for Verstappen, and then your winner by demotion is Charles Leclerc. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, we have Alex Albon still top of the non-point scorers, and we have Vettel and Mick Schumacher moving up 1 place apiece. Looking ahead, you've got Norris moving ahead of Russell, and you had Lewis Hamilton losing points to Charles Leclerc. Looking at the Points Championship, for the teams, Williams, we are moving ahead of the bottom pack. We're now 8 points ahead of Haas, and we're now 4 points behind AlphaTauri. I said we could kind of start gaining a little bit on AlphaTauri here throughout the rest of the year, and it looks like we're starting to. If Hauger didn't score any points that race, we would have been within 2 points, but he scored 2 points, so we are now 4 points behind. I believe last time we were about 6 points behind, so yeah, we did a really good job there in that race. Mercedes are still ahead of Red Bull, but Red Bull looks like they have the better consistent driver pairing out of Ferrari and Mercedes. Yeah, Ferrari are still only 30 points ahead of Mercedes with kind of the low performances that Sainz has been bringing in this simulation. So coming back from Canada, we lose $32,000. Alright, so it's the end of the episode. We had 2 really, really good races. We've actually scored points in the last 5 of the last 6 races. So we've been on a drought for such a long time, and then we've been able to consistently kind of had Vettel in the points, just, around that 8th to 10th place mark, and just kind of add up our total. We're starting to catch AlphaTauri, who seem to be a little bit hit or miss, where they're good at some tracks and then they're farther down at others. We have one consistent car out in the front because we have been focusing on Vettel's car the most. We are going to be getting a new engine sometime soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be the next race or not, but that should also help us because that still is our lowest performing part. Yeah, season-wise, we've kind of had similar thing of what we had last year, where we've had two consistent kind of upfront winners of Leclerc and Hamilton, with no one else able to kind of spoil the bunch. Still a lot tighter than I was expecting it to be at this moment. I thought we'd have kind of a breakaway team, but we've not had that. Only the most consistent team we have had is Red Bull with Verstappen and Perez. But yeah, hopefully we start seeing some more wins there for other people because it's more interesting for the drivers' standings. And hopefully we're able to kind of get up there and then the Constructors' Championship behind AlphaTauri, and hopefully we can overtake them at some point. That would be beyond a major accomplishment for this season. But as always, if you enjoyed today's video, like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb YouTuber stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.